Welcome to the Empath Podcast. I am your host, Chandler Mercer. And today I am joined with my beautiful girlfriend. Why don't you introduce yourself?
My name's Vanessa
Vanessa
Martinez. Why does anyone need to know my last name?
Welcome to the podcast, Vanessa. Today we're going to sit down and have a very deep conversation, as most as you are comfortable with. Talk about things that... Well, the camera just fell. Giving me a moment while I fix the camera. Jesus.
The little box slid
Yeah,
off
the
and
little
pulled
box.
the phone.
The little box went yeet.
Said she doesn't want to do this.
Yeah, she didn't want to do it. Oh, it stopped the recording.
It's okay. You kind of need to restart anyway. After that.
Jesus.
Can you see you? Oh, barely. I'm going to turn it just a little bit to see you better. Is that good or more?
No, that's good. All right. Resync. Quiet. All right.
Can I do it?
Yeah, if you want to do it, you can do it.
Quiet.
Boom. Okay, and we're back. Fix the camera that decided to yeet itself off of the table. I gotta stop touching the table. I'm making the camera shake. That's probably the causing factor of what the hell just happened. But okay, we're having deep conversations. First of all, you said you would talk about a dream you had last night. Let's hear about it.
It's not that interesting, but
You're literally in the way of the mic.
I want to talk into this.
I know.
Okay.
It's just you and me talking.
You're already getting sweaty.
Oh, thanks. So I have to turn off the AC whenever we're talking to this thing, so it's not ambient sound, just noisy in the background. I sweat like a motherfucker, so.
Okay. So my dream, it was... I don't remember how it started. I just remember me and you were at Circuit of the Americas, kind of. It looked like it, but it also looked like a shopping center and whatever.
So what it is going to be eventually.
Probably. And it was... There was a manager there. So I remember we pulled up and it was like the Domain parking garage. So we got there. I think you may have been like not late, but like just right on time because it was like you were still working there. And for some reason I was with you. And you backed into a spot. Like you were parking and I think you were about to regular park, but then you instead backed into a spot.
Okay.
And that was it. We got out, and then you went and did whatever, clocked in, and I think I was just kind of sitting around. There was like a little balcony type thing where they had a bunch of places you could sit. And so I think I was sitting there just waiting for you. I don't know if I was going to be waiting your whole shift or what, but I was there. And your manager, but it wasn't like someone who worked there. It was actually my manager or one of my managers from HEB.
Okay.
But was your manager in my dream. And she like pulled you aside and said that she needed to talk to you. And so you like were like, okay. And you went and like you started walking off with her, and there was kind of like this little trail. You walked down the stairs of like the balcony we were on. Y'all were walking on the trail, and I could still kind of hear somehow. I could hear
You had the AirPod
y'all
hack.
clearly.
It was in my pocket. You were listening to me.
I could hear you clearly, and she was like giving you shit about backing up into a parking spot. Like she saw you on a camera, and she was like, "Why would you back into it? Why would you do that?" And I was like,
"Because I
"What the
want
fuck?"
to."
And but it was just weird. I don't know why.
It's convenient when I want to pull out.
She was
What's the matter to you?
giving you crap about it. And I was thinking, I was like, maybe because him doing that was taking longer and he was going to be late. I don't know. And, but she was like really mad at you about it. And, it was just kind of a back and forth thing. But then she ended up firing you.
Over backing up into the spot?
Yes.
Oh.
She ended up saying that
Okay.
you were fired. And you start walking back, and like you're walking up the stairs, and you just look like your eyes are watery, like you're just about to start crying, and like I acted like I didn't hear. I acted like I didn't hear anything because I don't know how the hell I would have heard it in the first place.
What happened?
But
Did you get fired? Oh, how would I know that?
you walked up, and you were just crying, or like about to start crying, and then you were like, "I just got fired," and
You're like, I know. Don't ask me how, but I know.
And I was like, what? Or something. I forgot. I was like, you just got fired. And then I was like, oh, that's okay. I was like, you still have X Biotech. And you were like, do I? I was like, yeah. I was like, this isn't connected to, and apparently it was. Apparently somehow Circuit of the Americas and X Biotech were conjoined in some way.
Okay.
And I was like, well, you still have that job. And you were like, do I?
Advancements in racing with bioengineering. We've created the ultimate racer.
But
We call him Master Chief. I mean, it's copyrighted.
anyways, that's my dream.
Oh,
That's where it ended.
that's entertaining.
I don't know why I dreamt that.
Okay. All right. That's a cool little introduction into this then. A little acknowledgement of your crazy dreams that are great.
That's not even scratching the surface of my crazy dream.
Well, let's scratch the surface a little bit. Let's delve into one of the worst dreams you've had as of late, which had to deal with the brand new apartment we just moved into. And just as a little bit of backstory, I work nights. I am not here during the night on sometimes. It's very hard being away from you, especially at nights. And I love you. Mm-hmm. And I know that it's not easy on you either. But we've done a lot to improve our relationship around it recently, and it's been going okay. Hopefully be doing days soon. But what happened?
I'm getting scared just thinking about this dream.
I know. I'm sorry. But I'm here for a couple of days, and then I'll be on days soon, so it's okay. We can talk about it. And as you know, it's okay in the apartment. Everything's good. Based on this whole podcast, I can feel shit. Apartment's okay. But do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
So, what happened?
So I was on FaceTime with you, and I was laying in the bed in our room. And
is this in the dream?
This is just right before I fell asleep.
Okay.
So right before I fell asleep, I was on the phone with you on FaceTime, and I was just laying in bed. I don't believe I had the TV on. I think the TV had the PlayStation was in the room, and it had shut itself off, so it was just kind of like the no signal screen on the TV. And that's all it was, and that was on, and then there was just a little lamp light on in the room. And I was on the phone with you, and I guess I ended up falling asleep, but I never thought I fell asleep or felt like I did, because my dream, like as soon as I fell asleep, my dream started off as if everything was the exact same. I was laying in the same spot, still on the phone with you.
Yeah.
Still, the lamp was on.
Like nothing changed.
Yeah. The only difference, but I didn't notice in my dream at the time, was that the TV was off, like completely off. It didn't have the screen or anything on it. And, but it was as if I was kind of asleep in my dream, or I was like kind of dozing off, because I all of a sudden heard the front door like shut, like as if someone had just walked in and it shut. And then I heard, as soon as it shut, just like really loud and fast footsteps come straight to the bedroom door. And then just a really like loud, constant knock on the door. And I remember just kind of thinking for a moment, because I was on the phone with you. It was probably like 4 a.m, and so I was very close to you, about to be off. And so I was like, is he already home? Like, did he just get here? And but then I looked, and my phone was on with you, and you were sitting at work in the shack, and I was still on FaceTime with you, and I was like, it's not Chandler. It's like, who's, like, there's someone at the door. And I remember like freezing, and I'm kind of getting just talking about it. I remember freezing and like going and reaching for my phone and turning it down, like as much as I could turn it down. So like if you started talking, like nothing would hear it. And I can see just a little like shadow under the door, like there's someone or something there, like at it. And they knock a little bit more, and then it stops. And I remember just looking at the lamp, trying to like, how am I gonna get over there? Because like at this time too, we had our old bed that creaked whenever you like moved a certain way or whatever. And so I was like, how am I gonna get off this bed without making any noise and turning off that lamp? And but it stopped, and then it sounded like whatever was there kind of started rummaging through the kitchen and just in the apartment. Like they left the door, we're just kind of rummaging around. And then I remember thinking maybe they left, or maybe they're gone, like they, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I ever got to the lamp, but somehow it turned off. And then I ended up looking at my phone, and I was talking to you, and I was like, there's someone here. There's like, I forgot how that conversation went with you, but I remember you kind of not being scared or worried or whatever. I don't remember if you thought, you're like, that's what it was. You're very dismissive, and saying something like, oh, I'll be home soon. Like, I think just kind of brushing it off like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking to myself, all right, they're not at the door anymore. It's fine. I'm going to try to go to sleep. And I ended up moving to my side of the bed, still had you on the phone, and I like try going to sleep, but then the whatever it was comes back to the door, is knocking, and I'm like, please don't go through the bathroom, because our bathroom connects to the closet, which connects to the room.
Yeah, it's like a big
and
C.
I was like, don't, if it goes in the bathroom, it's going to be able to get into the
closet,
room.
if it can get in the closet.
Yeah, and so I remember like freaking out and just trying to not pay attention to it. And it's just, there's so much, I know there's a lot more that happened. I think I tried to like completely get it out of my mind.
Like, I gotta get this out.
Yeah.
I can't keep this. I gotta get it out.
But it was still doing like the banging. It was still doing the knocking. And I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm trying to just get through like the next hour until I know that you're coming home. And I end up having this weird feeling like that starts coming on me, or I think I start feeling kind of like I'm vibrating. And then all of a sudden I hear like a little girl crying. And so I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, it sounded like it was coming outside, because I'm right by the window. Yeah. And I was like, is there like a girl out there? Is she crying? Like, what's happening? And then all of a sudden I hear more crying, and like crying out for like kind of like babies and like toddlers crying out for their moms and whatever. And it just gets louder and louder and louder, and it's like filling the whole room. And
there's just sound coming from everywhere at that point.
Yeah, it's just literally all 360 all around me, and just like nothing but crying and crying. Like, it was as if like all the children in the apartment complex just woke up and started crying. Yeah. And I was like, I instantly thought, whatever the heck is here, I feel like it's touching or caused all of them to just start crying. Yeah. And now it's just in the room, and like it's not like that's all I hear. And I remember just trying to drown it out and get it out of my head, but it just gets louder. And then I see the lights kind of flickering under the door, and then the sound of the running back to the door, banging on the door, and I just completely freak out. And I don't remember how that ended or like how that went, but I do, like, I know there was other things that happened, like kind of like side things that happened, but they really were no like relevance. It was kind of as if it went to someone else's apartment. And like it like transferred to another place where like I was with this couple, and they woke up, and I think they woke up to the crying somehow. And then all of a sudden there's just like these crazy like fireworks happening, and like just really really loud, and like a lot of fireworks. And then they get up and they like go down, but it was as if like where you were working was at the apartment somehow, like as if like the shack that you work at X Biotech was yeah. And so I see them like in my dream, I'm watching them, and they go to the shack, and they're like talking to you, and I'm still it kind of like transfers back and forth because I'm still on FaceTime with you in my dream. And then I see
having this out of body experience of watching these other
but
people.
then it kind of transfers as soon as I get to you. I'm back to myself, kind of just watching on the phone this couple get to you.
Oh wow, okay.
Saying like, what's going on? Like, why is...
So you got these two different perspectives.
Yeah, and they're like, why is there so much? And there's just a lot of fireworks. And I'm just kind of watching, and I can't remember if this was just something I remember that happened, because this was that same night that I think it was one of the employees at your job was like walking or something. I think you were like, oh, I'm on the phone with my girlfriend or something like that. And then I remember like the couple's there, and like y'all are figuring out the fireworks, and then they start leaving, and then you're like, oh, this is my girlfriend. Like, and you show them like me on FaceTime, just a complete wreck, like, and you're just completely fine.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is my girlfriend. And I forgot what they said, but it just ends up kind of like transferring after that. And I remember, I think I started talking to you, or I tried to start talking to you, but you're just not paying attention to me. You're like kind of working, like looking at the computer. You're not looking at me. I don't know if you can hear me or what, but I'm just freaking out, crying, and I can't remember everything that happened again, because like I said, I really tried to just drown it out of my head. Yeah, just
try to take it out.
And
because I know it really messed with you.
Yeah, the last thing I remember is just waking up full panic, crying. And the only difference that I felt in the room when I woke up was when I looked at the TV and it said no signal. It was back on. And it looked just a little bit lighter in the room with just that lamplight on. Yeah. And that was the only difference.
And you had trouble sleeping for about a week after that,
like probably
2 weeks almost.
Yeah, it was a while. I couldn't watch anything like scary. I couldn't do anything like that. Yeah. Because it would freak me out. And even that night after, because you had to work that night after too, I ended up staying at my mom's. And and
even that was hard.
Yeah, I was even scared to do that. And I just couldn't be here. I was scared to be here. I had all the lights on.
Well, it changed the whole feeling of the place.
Yeah, I like had all the lights on whenever I did anything. Like even just sitting like this with the small light on would freak me out. I couldn't do it. I would have the lamp we had on and probably have the living room light on. Yeah. Because I just couldn't sit anywhere by myself. I didn't like going to sleep. I think that's where it started, me basically staying up until you were coming home because I was scared to go to sleep. Yeah. And because I didn't want to have another dream, I was like just terrified of it. But it fucked with me.
Yeah. Sounds fun. And that's when I kind of helped you, go to a happy place. Kind of showed you how to meditate to try to just kind of ease your mind.
Yeah. And since we did that,
because we did that together. We did a team meditation. I kind of walked her through it.
Yeah. Like, ever since we did that, I just feel like overall, I remember even after that, though, it did take me still a little
it's
bit
still
to
like
get used to
the
it.
place itself
Yeah.
is still a big part of the dream. So,
But since that, I've felt a lot better. I even think our relationship got a lot better. It's like a lot less arguments or a lot just less of everything. Like, there's really just no, like, because I get like really bad, like, or like have really bad like anger problems, or things can just hit me really bad or trigger something, and it's hard to
yeah.
like snap out of that. Like, once I'm in that zone and something else, it can be the smallest thing ever, it will just enhance it like by 1,000, and it's just bad. And
Well, you would agree. You do have a bottling problem.
yeah.
You do like to bottle your emotions up, and as history dictates with pretty much anybody, you can't bottle it up forever, and when the lid's blown off, the lid's blown off, and you get all of it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to stop a river that's flowing.
Yeah. But like,
Case in point with, we're watching My Hero Academia,
love.
and and you haven't cried or felt sad in a good little bit. There's been some cases here and there that have filled that bottle a little bit, but a character has died in this anime, and I think it's safe to say that that bottle opened and kind of started to overflow a little bit.
It hit me in waves. I got
Well, it hit you in ways with the whole thing of, I like to think people who are really good with bottling their emotions are able to think about one thing and suppress the one thing. People like me who like to express emotions or like to feel those emotions or can't help but feel those emotions, there's steps to sadness.
yeah.
And with that instance, when that person was dying, because I don't want to spoil anything, when that person was dying, they were talking to two people, and then a third person came in, and that third person had a small dialogue with the person who was dying. And then the person who was dying responded and talked to all three of them at the same time. Mm-hmm. Somebody who's bottling their emotions is going to focus on one part of all of that and try to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And because I saw you cracking, I decided to talk about all the other points to get you to cry so that you could let it out.
I don't like to cry.
I know. And then you started thinking about it, and you thought about him talking to his student pretty much, and him talking to his master and his master's student, and it was just a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because the way things hit me when I feel something, whether it be a movie or a show or anything, I get this, and that's where I start bottling it, or that's when I know, all right, it's time to suppress this a little bit. I'll get this kind of like slight chill in my body, and then my chest feels heavy, and like kind of as if I'm like going like holding my breath, or about to like hold my breath. And I get that feeling. I'm like, okay, like let's get rid of it. And so I kind of don't think about it, or that's kind of like the max that it'll go. And I don't let it get any further than that or feel anything more or anything. The most it'll go even from that is like my eyes will get just a little bit watery. Not even red or anything. I can just feel like the water conjuring up a little bit. And with that, I think it does stem from like everything that was happening. Because at first he was talking to the two people, and I was like, this is sad. Like, this is fucking with me. This is sad. But I'm not there yet. I'm like, but I'm upset, but I think I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then homeboy walks in, and I'm just like, shit. Like, I'm like, I can't. I'm like, it's okay. And I was like, he's sad. I'm sad. We're all sad, but it's okay. They're going to say their goodbyes. It's going to be good. It's going to be a happy farewell. And it's not. Like, as soon as he breaks, I break, everything is a mess. And I felt there. That was the first time my eyes watered enough for tears to come out. And I was like, okay. I couldn't watch anything after that. I didn't want to watch more after that. I ran away to go.
You did. You actually ran to the bathroom to close the door to cry alone, which doesn't make any sense to me.
I didn't cry. I didn't like fully cry.
No, you went to bottle it up.
But I like ran away to kind of like look at myself and be like, stop.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Well, see, okay, so I think we've talked about that enough in the sense to where does that come from? To do a little bit of backstory, as most people who are listening to this know me, know that my parents are divorced, know that I do suffer from depression, and most of my very close friends who will probably listen to this understand how I deal with things. Would you like to talk about maybe why you bottle stuff up, where that comes from, and yeah.
Why I bottle stuff up?
What caused it? Because, like, for me, an instance I had when I was younger, as you know, I have a big fear of getting blamed for something that I didn't do, or falling into the fault of something that wasn't my own, and being completely unable to show my innocence in it. That's kind of why, like, you know, prisoners who are being released from prison for like fucking 50 years because DNA finally proved that they had nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's so emotional for me because that's terrifying to think. So when I was younger, I was playing with one of my cousins, AB, and I think someone had done something. It was me, him, and I think two other people, maybe his sister and my sister, and something had happened, and either I didn't do it or it was a mistake of something that I had done. I can't remember. I just remember knowing that whatever happened caused AB to cry, but it wasn't my fault. And he ran off to tell everybody that I had done something to make him cry. And I ran to the back porch and I hid behind some laundry. Mm-hmm. And I just sat there and cried. And nobody could find me for like 30, 40 minutes. And so that was one of my biggest ways of coping up until pretty much meeting you and you helping me pretty much break my shell. If something was affecting me, as you've heard from many of the relatives that you have talked to, whenever they tell you, oh, he's so quiet, how do you get stuff out of him? And you're like, I can't get this dude to shut the fuck up. When I had something on my mind that was very emotional or was affecting me in a very big way, I didn't talk about it. I closed myself off, wouldn't talk to anybody, was alone, played video games, and just ignored the world. And that was a part of my depression. That was a part of my brain. Part of my brain telling me that I was useless in that moment. Couldn't do anything. Shouldn't do anything. And that nobody wants to hear about what's causing my problems. So, keep it. You know? So, where do you think your bottling up comes from?
I mean, I can relate to that in a sense. I think I told you this very early on in our relationship that or even before it was a relationship, I believe I told you, I don't like to talk about things if basically it's not brought up.
Yeah.
Like, I won't tell you about something, at least then. Like, now I feel like I've gotten a little bit better about it. But
with me, at least.
Yeah, with you. But typically, I will not talk about something if someone else does not bring it up, or if someone doesn't bring up something that may tie into this relatable thing I may have to say. Because I'm like, this person's not going to want to hear this random thing I have to say, or this random thing I'm feeling, or whatever. Like, they didn't ask about it. They don't care about it. I'm not going to talk. And so I kind of just leave it at that. And that was kind of the way you got to know me at first, was if you brought up something that tied into like, oh, hey, I have something that relates to that, I kind of told you.
Yeah.
But typically, if that thing did not come up in conversation, I will not talk about it. And just, I think from thinking this person won't care, or this person's not going to be interested in it. And so if I'm like that with just regular conversation, when it comes to how I'm feeling, or if I'm feeling anything, I will not take it to anyone. I don't want to put that burden or that feeling onto anyone else, and because I don't even want it. I don't like it. And so I'm definitely not wanting anyone else to feel it, or feel sorry for me, or have any type of deal with it in any type of way, because like I don't like it. And I'm the way that I am with my feelings, I've been like that for a long time, to where I basically just suppress it, and it just builds and builds and builds until one day I kind of snap, and it's bad. And because it's just, I choose not to feel it, even if I'm by myself. Because like that's where I would express how I'm feeling, would be by myself. I wrote for a little while, which helped, but even then, like, it wasn't the same as getting it all out. I'd still have my breaking point, my snapping points, and it was a wreck. And it led to a lot of things in my life, and just depression and all of that. And I'm like, I don't like what all of this is doing, so I don't want to deal with it. And I chose not to. And it just got worse. But it was better to not feel it for a while by just burying it away than have to feel it every day, because I was sad for years and depressed for years. And like, well, if I can just act like I'm not, we don't have to feel anything.
But then that doesn't help in the long run.
Yeah,
whenever
it doesn't.
It just bottles the fuck out.
It doesn't, but I mean, I'd rather deal with the one freak out than have a freak out every day, like baby ones. But it's more worse for whoever is on the other side of my freak out than it is for me. Because me, I'm over here, I'm like, I'm finally getting all this shit out, and then the other person's like, what?
Yeah.
They're just completely confused. They don't know where it's all coming from.
I left the seat on the toilet up, and you want to leave me?
It's just, yeah.
I'm sensing this is about something else.
Yeah.
You don't know anything?
That's where it's worse, because it ends up obviously getting thrown towards the people that I care and love the most, because I have this, or don't really think like this anymore. I have this thing where I believe that we are worse, or can be our worst selves, obviously, to the people that we love the most and care about us the most, because in the end, we're like, I can do this, and they're still going to love me, though. They're still going to love me tomorrow. They're still going to care. And yes, that's true, but people can only take so much until it starts becoming an issue or a inconvenience, and they're just not going to want to deal with it anymore. And so I was like that for a really long time, and they're still all here. They still love me. They still care about me, but they did not forget how bad I got, or how bad I was. And especially my mom, she thanks you every day
she does thank me
for everything, and just making me a better person, because you really have, and you really helped me I'm not fully there, but you helped me a lot by expressing myself or feeling like I can and not get so crazy. Still there, but
The Latina fire.
but I'm working on it. It does stem from something else, but that's something else I'm not feeling like talking about it. I haven't even fully talked to you about it.
No,
so
I know what you're talking about.
I want to talk about it on here now.
I understand.
But yeah, it all stems from something.
Well, thank you. Speaking of, for one, you've made me such a better person as well. I can't thank you enough. We've officially been boyfriend-girlfriend since October 15th of 2019. Mm-hmm. However, we've been seeing each other since a debated time.
Oh, I know the time.
Of like March 24th.
26th.
When we met at an Alamo Draft House to see Us. Mm-hmm. And that was a really fun night. I'll never forget it. I'll forget the date, apparently. Mm-hmm. But I'll never forget it. You look so beautiful walking in there in all that all black with your blue jeans on.
With my blue jeans.
You had blue jeans on.
I didn't.
You didn't have blue jeans on?
Nope.
Oh, God. Oh, God. It's all falling apart at the seams. You were in all black.
I was wearing all black.
Yeah.
There was blue jeans involved, but they weren't blue jeans, like jeans.
Well, yeah, jeans. Not like, okay. When I say blue jeans can be black, they can be red, they can be... Like, no, seriously.
You're getting further from what I'm talking about. Okay. I was wearing a blue jean jacket.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Damn it. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the blue jean jacket. Mm-hmm. Damn it.
You're getting a lot further off track there.
I was too interested in your face. Mm-hmm. But, what? You got there right on time. Mm-hmm. Right on time, which was the early look at
that was my first
Vanessa's
impression.
On time.
That night, though, I actually
It was the construction. You missed the turn.
No, I think I may have told you that.
Oh,
I may have told you I missed a turn or something.
Oh, really? Okay.
But because I think I was earlier. You were way early. Well, I think you were already there before I even left to go there.
Well, yeah, because I got there and I was like, "Hey, I'm here," and you're like, "Oh, I'm leaving soon," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Because Alamo Draft House, they ask you to be 30 minutes early, and I'm early to like almost anything. Not so much anymore.
You were. Now you're on time.
Now I'm on time. I'm still on time. I'm not late. But I was early to everything, and I think I got there. So what? The showing was at like 10 something.
I think it was like 10:15.
Yeah, 10:15, and I was there at like.
I think you were there literally like 9:30.
I was about to say 9:30 or 9:20 actually.
Yeah, it might have even been earlier.
Yeah, and you had texted me, "I'm about to leave the house." I was like, "What the fuck?"
I remember that specifically because that same night I told you they were doing the EDC. Lineup reveal.
Yes,
and
that's
do,
right.
Like the music, and that started at 9.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay, this will go till like 10. I'll leave a little bit before 10 and still get there by 10:15 before the movie starts. And then you messaged me that you were there, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Oh,
so
shit.
I remember I was like, all right, let me go, and I ended up putting it on in the car.
Yep.
And I remember that.
That's why you missed the turn. You told me that.
No, I told you I missed the turn, but I didn't actually miss the turn. Let
me guess, you're in the parking lot listening to the rest of the...
it ended up not working out because it was connected to my phone. And then
we had worked out.
No, the reception wasn't good, so I just couldn't hear it. And I was like, whatever, forget it. And so I ended up turning it off. And what happened was I ended up going into an H-E-B that was like by there. And because I was...
Wait, the H-E-B I worked at? Later?
Oh, it might have been. I think it was actually.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I'm just going to park here for a minute because I'm still kind of early. It hasn't even started yet. I don't want to have to talk before
You
before
don't
the movie
wait
starts.
for the movie to start at an Alamo Draft House.
Whatever. I don't want to have to talk before the movie starts or anything. I just want to get in there like as soon as the movie's about to start so we don't have to talk. So we don't have to do the weird introduction talking. I was like, I don't want to do that. So I pulled into the HEB. I think I walked around for a minute. I went to go check how I looked in the mirror in the bathroom. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to go. And I think that's when I messaged you saying like, oh, I missed the turn, but I'm about to be there. And yeah, probably the only lie I've ever told you.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyways, you showed up looking gorgeous.
Even though you don't remember what I was wearing.
Okay, all right.
Or the day. Wrong person.
What? Like,
You met some other girl on the 24th in blue jeans.
No. So we watched Us. When we got out, we actually sat in the lobby for like another, 2 hours almost?
Yeah, just about.
Just talking. Getting to know each other. The rest is history. No, I'm kidding. You didn't talk to me for like a month after that.
Yes, I did.
No, we didn't. We didn't see each other.
You didn't. We didn't. Yeah, we didn't see each other for probably like another month.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking that you didn't like me because after that, I think very soon after that, you got into something with work or it was like a really busy week.
It was a MotoGP. Remember,
Yeah.
we were getting ready for MotoGP, and I told you. Remember, I texted you. I said, "Hey, this week and this weekend and this next week,
Yeah, you told me
I'm not gonna
busy.
I'm gonna be busy. I'm not gonna be able to talk that much."
Yeah, you told me you'd be busy. You told me you'd be tired, but still, you
And
barely
you
said
took
anything.
it as, "I don't like you. I don't want to talk to you."
You still didn't really say anything to me at all.
It was MotoGP.
Okay, and
Okay, at Circuit of the Americas, there were 2, 3 tops.
is MotoGP more important than your possible future wife?
No. In retrospect, no. And at that point, no. But I needed that, like, that job, as you know, was and is my dream job. Yes, it was a little nuts. Might have been fucked over here and there. But that's
Pretty much every day.
that's neither here or there. But I love that job. And when I got that job, I had told myself that I was going to put every inch of work or focus that I had into it. And you came into my life. And at that point, it was still very early on, but I knew that I liked the hell out of you. And I was dreading that week coming up because I was going to be race control. And race control, I can't be on my phone. Well, they put me on a worse position than race control. Do you remember where I was? I was at the kid track.
Oh, yeah.
I was at the kiddie track.
You were pissed about that.
Oh, I was down.
You even told me, I think that night that we met, that you hated it and that you weren't going to have to do it for this thing coming up.
I was told that I was going to be race control.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they fucked you over.
Yeah, and then, well...
Again.
The problem is I was good at it. The problem is nobody else wanted to do it. So when you've got a whole group of people who don't want to do it and one person who's good at it, unfortunately, you put the person who's good at it that doesn't want to do it on it. I get it. Did I like it? No. Did I get hit multiple times that weekend? Yeah. Did one guy almost break his fucking ankle? Yeah. And that was all because of, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but somebody that I had worked with who is a great guy. He's a great guy. But if you're listening to this dude and you know who you are, you're awesome, you're amazing, but you know, you had some flaws here and there. And
we all.
Yeah, we all, yeah, we definitely all got some flaws. But it was hard to work with him. And he wanted to be the one who was in charge because he had been there longer, which I get. And he was in charge for a couple of minutes, and somebody had got hit, and had a manager walk up to me, hand me, I think, his radio and everything, and be like, look, you're taking control of this. And I was like, fuck. Okay. You know, I was totally happy with sitting down there at the end. I was like, cool. I can sit down here. I can be on my phone. I can talk to talk to this girl and just have a good old time. And then they fucking made me in charge. And I was like, God fucking damn it.
I know you got breaks, though. And you didn't even text me on your breaks or anything.
Break? Well, you only got one break.
Well, you didn't text me on it.
No, because I was busy stuffing my face.
Mm-hmm.
Busy eating. But, like, you can talk to pretty much anybody who worked...
Pass.
worked Circuit of the Americas during MotoGP or F1. Your phone and life outside of COTA at that point, you just... It's not that you, like, put it aside. You just honestly either forget or don't have time. Like, it's weird. It all just fades away. And when you're in that moment, that's all that there is. That's all that there is. And you're not doing it on purpose. It's just happening, and you're kind of a passenger of a car, and the driver's falling asleep, and you're just trying your best to keep your hand on the wheel to keep the car on track. That's F1, MotoGP, IndyCar. Like, it's insane. It's insane. So, and now I can't go back. Because miscommunication, can't go back.
Oh well.
Oh well. But I got like my second dream job now, so we'll see where that goes. Hopefully, well so far. Working my ass off the best I can. Currently it is COVID-19, which is crazy, people. Fucking wear your masks. Wash your hands. Use a hand sanitizer. Stay away from people. Except for the people you live with.
6 feet apart.
6 feet. We are definitely not 6 feet apart. But you're taking some time off. Mm-hmm. You're doing the leave of absence from HEB. We're doing pretty good, you and me. I'm still working since I don't really have to deal with people. And I work at a bioengineering lab. You gotta be clean. You gotta be fucking clean. I feel like we're doing pretty good. And yeah.
I feel like it really tested our relationship because we
definitely
moved in at the start of this, and it was like, okay, you have to stay inside. You can't go anywhere else.
That's the March 24th.
Yeah.
That's why I said that, because we moved in here on March 24th, the day of quarantine.
All right, you get a pass.
Wow. That's weird how I've switched that.
It was like 2 days right before.
I've made that date.
Year.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was like, y'all have to stay inside, because that was when they did a lock-in. That's when they were smart.
Yep.
And
that's when they had intelligence on what the hell was going on.
So they're like, all right, we moved in the day that they put that in motion. It was like, everyone has to stay in. Or like, all right, perfect. Well, we're here now. And I feel like it really tested it, because not only are we living together for the first time, we can't really go anywhere else. We're forced to spend all of our time together inside.
Yeah.
And I think that really...
Like, most people, when they move in, they've at least got, like, I can go back to my parents or something like that. Or
or they're just not stuck with this new person, because, like, you have to, like, of course, learn each other's living habits and kind of get used to it or work with it.
And flex here and there.
And, so which we did, and I feel like we've gotten... feel like everything's kind of breeze now.
Yeah.
But I think it was just kind of like you were forced to deal with it all immediately, because that happened. It wasn't like, okay, like we have some room to be here and there, and it's just like it's all happening now. You're like, okay, so it started like that. But I think we had our probably like little hiccups or anything like at the beginning, and I think ever since we just got through that probably like phase of like the possible like, oh, y'all are gonna have to deal with this and that, or y'all aren't gonna like this, or it's really gonna test your relationship. And I think it just made us even stronger. And
Yeah.
made our relationship even better because we dealt with that right off the bat.
Yep.
And it just makes our living situation even better now, which I'm happy about.
I'm very happy about. Because if you don't mind me exposing you a little bit, when you get emotional, kind of like how we were already talking about with My Hero,
What? Emotions? Never.
you tend to go away. Mm-hmm. So the fact that there was really nowhere to go, I think really kind of helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like my space or to be gone, just not deal with it for a while. But really the only other place I could go was to the bedroom and kind of had my little moment in there.
Yeah, and it took me a while to realize, oh, she needs a moment.
It still takes
it still takes me some time.
You've gotten a lot better to where because like now, it was like we're literally, if you just left me alone for like a minute, I would have been fine. I would have walked out here and would have acted like nothing happened. I would have probably apologized and everything. But you couldn't even give me the 1 minute. And then you'd come in and I'd just be like, it just set me off because like I get set off by anything when I'm mad or upset or whatever. And so I'm like, you couldn't even give me a minute. And it would just turn into a whole thing that literally made no sense when you thought about it the next day. You're like, what happened? But I feel like that's where maybe the problems happen, just because I can't control myself.
Yeah.
And that, or at least I've gotten better, but at least then I really couldn't. And I feel like that was probably the biggest thing I had to work on when Sue moved into with each other. But I feel like I've gotten better at that, and because of you, and I am happier because I feel much better at the end of the day. I feel much better if we do have an argument or anything because it doesn't last hours. It doesn't last a day or anything like that. It's just kind of, we're going to deal with it, or to kind of just give me a minute to either feel it and feel it myself, like, because like we've made clear I don't like to feel things or to express how I feel. So I like to deal with it myself, and I will deal with it myself. And if it's something big enough to where I feel like I need to talk about it, I will end up telling you. But that initial thing, I just need to kind of talk myself into like, it's okay. You don't need to freak out. Kind of relax before you go into it.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was the only thing I needed. And that's where I feel like I've gotten better.
I also think we are also kind of big proof of opposites attract. Because we do, for a majority of the things, have almost opposite ways of dealing with things. Not necessarily like we like most of the same stuff. We do things mostly the same, but the way that we feel or deal with emotions or our relationship with family members is completely different. And I feel like that's helped me with family members and you with family or I don't want to say lack thereof, but communication with them. Because when we met, I was living with my dad and his husband, which can't thank them enough for housing me for that long, dealing with my dumb ass.
And then when my ass came along.
And then when I'm like, no, she doesn't live here, but she's staying the night every single night.
Up at 3 a.m.
Up at 3 a.m. making pizza and popcorn whenever his husband works at 5 o'clock in the morning, you know. Thank both of y'all. I feel like, because if you don't mind me talking a little bit about your family, it was whenever we met you, your mom, and your older brother living in the same house. Your dad is not in the picture. Hasn't been for a while.
Nope.
And you are the baby of 3. You've got your older brother and your older sister.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love them.
I only have one sister. It's my youngest sister. We're only 17 months apart. And I've got my dad, my mom, my dad's husband, my grandparents. You've got your grandparents too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one thing that also kind of helped you and me get to know each other was our families, which you were, if I remember correctly, kind of against a little bit. You didn't really want me to meet your family or anything at first. Mm-mm. And I couldn't wait to have you meet my family.
Well, my thing for not wanting you to meet them wasn't because I didn't want like them to meet you. It was literally I did not want you to meet them because I didn't want to hear any. It was specifically my mom. I was like, I don't want questions. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I just want to, because I'm not even sure like how this is going yet. Because it took me a really long time to even call you my boyfriend or call it a relationship because
for a long time
weird.
we were friends. She was sleeping in my bed. We're friends.
Staying over every night. It's just my friend.
But your mom can't get it. Marina? Thinking I was going to be a redneck hillbilly coming from
Pickup truck.
Wimberley, Texas. And my pickup truck pick you up. Let's go to the Alamo Draft House.
Which the first time you took me to Wimberley, they had me turn my location on.
Exactly. Your family was like, he's going to kill you. Look, you got to turn on your location services. He's going to kill you. Where the fuck's Wimberley? He's going to fucking kill you. Her mom talks like a white woman. She's going to kill me for that.
Uh-huh. You're one to talk.
Oh, I know. But that also kind of ties into when we fell in love with each other. Because I fell in love with you way before you fell in love with me. I fell in love with you when we went to Wimberley for the first time.
Yeah.
And I showed you around where I grew up. Took you to all the little antique shops out there. Showed you my high school. Showed you all my other schools. Just kind of showed you my happy place, which is Wimberley, Texas. Mm-hmm. And just spending that time with you and seeing you genuinely be interested in all of that really made me just kind of be like, wow, yeah, I love this woman. And for you,
love with you, our third trip out there together, right after, even then, I think it was just that day, I felt it. And then that night, it was like just when I knew. But I didn't tell you for probably another
you didn't tell me for
4
what,
months.
well,
No, it was like July, or like early July or late June, one of those two. It was for your grandma's birthday.
Yeah.
And so it was just about 4 months, because I think I told you I love you probably less than a week before I started calling you my boyfriend, or like
it was not till October that you told me that.
But I
loved
knew
me.
Like early July and all of that, but I was not like, I'm not going to tell him that. Like that's too much power.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk. Let's talk about the one of the first kind of this ties in. One of the first kind of, I don't want to say arguments, but kind of heated discussions that we had about what we were. Because you were very aware that I had fallen in love with you before you had fallen in love with me.
Yes.
I made it very clear.
You told me.
Yeah.
And I was like, sir, don't say that.
Cool, because at that time, for reasons you probably don't want to talk about, it was still very much a friendship for you, and you were worried. You would tell me, you were like, no, it's okay for you to see other people, but in your head you were like, if you see anybody else, fucking do it, try it.
I dare
you. I had accidentally said love you.
Yeah.
I was working.
Yeah.
And I was in race control. I was watching a race, and I had 3 accidents already in this race. I was so into work, and you had called me just to check in on me.
I was at my aunt's house.
Yeah, and I had ended the call like I had ended the call with anybody else that I normally talked to at that time, which was my dad and my mom, my dad or my mom. And I was like, okay, love you, bye. And like hung up and then was like, fuck.
You called me right back.
Yeah, instantly called you right back. And I was like, okay, look, listen, I'm so sorry.
Like, what are you talking about? I heard nothing.
Yeah, I heard nothing. But then that brought up the whole, when we really started to talk about what we were and what you wanted and what I wanted. You're like, he's trying to talk about emotions. What the fuck's I didn't sign up for this. No comment? You plead the fifth?
Yes.
Okay. But hey, now, living in our own apartment, enjoying fucking life in quarantine. And I like this. This is kind of what I want to do with this. I kind of want to just have a conversation about what me and the other person either mean to each other or, what their past is and what their future is and all this stuff. Because, one thing that a lot of people don't really think about is, I have my story from when I met you and you have your story from when you met me. But no one really knows that side of the story unless they sit down and have conversations like this.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would help so much right now with Black Lives Matter and our dumbass president. COVID-19 and the people who believe that my rights are being taken away by me having to wear a fucking mask. I ain't gonna wear a mask. Get in line, sheeple. Those fucking people.
All the controversies.
I feel like if we just talk, sit down, listen, drop our barriers, and really learn what makes somebody tick, you realize that everybody's in pain. Everybody has hope for something better. And, I feel like your experiences based on our relationship has made me better. I feel like my experiences that I've told you have helped you grow in some ways. And it's just because we listen to each other and you and me are trying to, and succeeding so far, having a life together. And it sucks that that's kind of what it takes for normal people, And the people who are doing all this bullshit out there are scared to talk about this because they're probably hiding something deep down that hurts them more than a physical pain. And they're afraid no one will listen and no one will understand. So that's what I want to do with this. I want to just let everybody know that we've all got something, and that's not bad. It should bring us closer together. And you should listen to your enemy. You should listen to your friend. Listen to people that you had no idea existed. The quiet person in the corner. See if they'll have coffee with you. See if they'll have lunch with you. If you get to know everybody around you, the world isn't that much of a scary place. Thankfully, me, with my empath stuff, and it's scary. I can generally know everyone around me in an instant if I want to. And I feel like that makes me more comfortable out in public than most people.
Yeah.
My depression keeps me from going out in public. But yeah, it's weird.
I feel like it's as simple as just respecting another person's boundaries or what another person feels or thinks. And if it's someone that you don't have, because obviously people who have a relationship, whether it be family, friends, or your partner, I feel like they're very easy to just be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to work this because this person doesn't like this or they like this a certain way. And so it's a lot easier to adapt to that. But why can't we do that with everyone? because if we go out and it's as simple as right now just wearing a mask because it makes someone else feel comfortable, or it makes someone else, like right now, because right now the majority of the people, they want to be as safe as possible, and it's just as simple as just putting it on for a moment until everything's said and done. And it's just crazy how that can completely spiral out of control over something so minuscule like that, where it's for the comfort of people, the protection of people, and it's like the smallest thing to do. And I feel like everyone has that, whether it be in like day-to-day life and aside from COVID and everything going on, everyone has a certain way that they feel in a situation or how they react and are. And so it's kind of just and I feel like that's the thing that I do like about myself, is I can easily adapt to the person that I'm talking to, or to anyone that I'm with. Even at work, like it's even just a customer who I interact with for a couple minutes, 30 seconds, anything like that, I can easily see how they're feeling or see the type of day that they're having and just go off of that. I'm not going to be in a mood. I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to be overly nice if someone just seems like that's not what they're in the mood for. And I just kind of quickly adapt to the people I'm around to make everyone feel as comfortable as possible, including myself. I'm not going to completely go out of my way to be like anything like other than who I am, but I'm definitely going to respect whoever I'm around. And I feel like if everyone just did that, it could be a lot easier.
Yeah, but at the same time, we can't have everybody do that, because you're gonna have a problem where, you're not faking it, but somebody might take that as I can fake it, and then behind closed doors make fun of these people.
And that's not what I'm saying.
No, that's not what you're saying at all. That's.
I'm saying it's as simple as just respecting someone. That's
exactly.
Not faking it.
Exactly. Like, you're also agreeing with, like, the thing that I feel like everybody's forgot is it's okay to agree to disagree. Like, for instance, you and me have very recently met somebody who's connected to somebody we both love, who has some very dramatic thoughts about Black Lives Matter and people of color. And, with the conversations that we've had with that person, it's very much agree to disagree, even though we haven't said that to that person.
That I've had.
Yes. I've been more or less just kind of there going,
That's my other thing. Like, which can be a problem. It can be a little thing, situation, whatever.
Well, that's one thing I like about you. You won't let somebody necessarily get away with it.
I don't do disrespect. I don't care. Like, I can handle it myself. If it's coming at me, I can brush something off. But I don't tolerate it towards really anyone. If it's definitely someone who's not there, or who's there to defend themselves or anything like that, I am very quick to jump on that and just cut it off. And even more so if it comes to someone that I love, or anyone that I know feels a certain way or would feel a certain way about that, I will quickly act on it. Especially if I know that they won't. I will be the one to do it, because I don't tolerate disrespect in any way. And I'll definitely let you know.
And that's one of the things I love so much about you, because, you and me will be out in public, and I tend to let things roll off my back, even if it is pretty disrespectful, and I want to say something, but you're there to help or be the voice.
Because that's the thing with people who are rude, who are disrespectful, and just treat the world like it's theirs.
I'm not helping the situation by not saying anything.
Right. Like, so I'm gonna, because that's the type of people that they do this stuff to, or that's why they keep doing it, is because they know that they can, and no one else is gonna say anything to them, and they can just live their lives like that. I'm gonna give you a reality check real quick, or even if it's not like a full, because that's the thing, I don't want it to seem like I get into a full-on attack with someone or
No.
like back and forth type thing. I don't. But I will definitely say something about how I feel or about the situation, and just kind of like, you're going to know that you either did something rude or that you're being a certain way. I'm going to make you aware of it.
Yeah.
I'm
Make
not
them very
gonna-
aware, like they need to think about what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I will just say that very quickly.
Yeah. Case in point with the person I was discussing, like, you know, you made it clear and realized to everybody real fast
Yeah.
that there really was no talking
Right.
to that person. They're stuck in their ways and they can't get out of it.
Yeah.
So you make your point and you leave it at that. If they can't take it, they're going to leave it. But now they know how you feel. And if they disrespect the way that you feel, then it's a problem. But
they know
if
they know
can-
how I feel, and they know, at least around me, and probably helps them in the future if they encounter someone else who shows any similar sign of how I expressed that, and that I obviously did not have the same views or feel the same way whatsoever, that they will either learn to cut it out or learn that this is not the time, or this isn't something I should even be doing in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, that's what I want you to know. Like, I don't want people to think they can go around talking like this, or like, everyone's entitled to feel however they're going to feel. But there's a line between just your feelings and your opinions and then just rude, disrespectful, and
Yep.
just bad like way
Yeah.
of thinking. And I just won't let that happen. At least they know not to talk like that around me.
Yeah.
And that alone shows like, okay, they're being made aware of this. Because yes, you can feel the way you're going to feel, but know that there are people with completely different views than you, and what to say, what like, and what not to say,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you.
Thank you for talking with me. I know there's so much that we could keep talking about, but like, again, that's kind of how I want to conduct all these podcasts, more or less just of a conversation, talking about certain things that are relevant to me and that person. So like right now, we didn't really follow a script or scheduled questions that I had. We just sat down and started talking.
Kind of more of a test run.
Yeah, more of a test run. So if you are seeing this, it's because I've shared the link directly. I'm going to be posting this to YouTube privately and only sharing it to a very small, finite amount of people. So if you're listening to this, you're very special and totally okay with you hearing any and all this. You're one of the few people who get to see this insight into what this hopefully will become.
I'm excited.
I'm super excited. Down the line, so right now I'm just recording this on my iPhone. I've got a brand new mic in my MacBook. Recording in GarageBand. Eventually, hopefully, down the line, this will expand. Multiple microphones, but more comfortable setup. Right now, we're on a white Pong table, pretty much.
AC off, everything.
Yeah, and just my iPhone, maybe a GoPro one day. Pretty cool little mount though with a light that we got. Cheap but awesome.
Looked at it for...
Yeah, I looked at the light for a second and I was like, I can't fucking see. But yeah, I hope to expand this, work on it, make it better and better every day, and eventually get a routine down, get any and all my friends on. To those of you who don't know, I do have a very special guest who wants to come on. He's a friend that I haven't got to hang out with him a lot, but his name is Hunter. He runs a very successful YouTube channel called Hunter Honda. He's a moto vlogger. Hunter, if you're watching this, you're great. You're awesome, and I can't wait to have you on and talk to you. Brace yourself for what I might ask you, because I haven't had any deep conversations with him.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting. I'm having my sister on. We're recording tomorrow. That's gonna be crazy. We're gonna get into my childhood, her childhood, and just who we are, and what it means to be brother and sister. What it means to be who we are today because of what we've gone through. Mom, Dad, we're not calling you out on anything. We love both y'all. Yeah. I can't wait. Love to have my dad on. Love to have my mom on. My grandparents, that'd be interesting. Talking to here. Where am I talking? I'm talking right here. But
I love all of them.
Yeah, I love them. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the Empath Thoughts podcast. Thank you, sweetheart, for coming on and being my technical first guest. We'll have you on again later whenever it's more public, if it is.
What?
I love you, baby.
I love you.
Again, thank you all for joining us on this conversation. It's not an A and B conversation. You do not have to see your way out of it. This is a conversation about who we are, who we were, who we can be, and how just one conversation can change the world.
You're amazing.
This is the Empath Thoughts podcast. Thank you.